In 1985, Rotary International committed to a goal of ending polio worldwide. Very soon now, after immunizing over 2 billion children, the goal will be achieved. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Welcome to the Food Corner. As you can see, we're outside today because this is the time for grilling. We're going to show you how to make a perfect hamburger. But along with that, we're going to show you some chipotle mayonnaise that we're going to make, and then also how to grill some veggies, because one of the great things about hamburgers is you can really load them up with nutrition depending on what you put on top. And so we're going to really use some unique ingredients to top our hamburgers with today. As you can see, I've already got everything sliced up and ready to go. Once you have your hamburger meat, be sure to have clean hands anytime you're dealing with the hamburger. Put it in kind of a good block, and then all you have to do is just go straight down the middle, go to the side, and you have a perfect burger. If you have a 4-ounce patty, that's going to cook down to about 3 ounces of hamburger meat, which is actually really what we would like to see for a serving. I know a lot of times we want great big giant hamburgers, but if we try to stay within the food guidelines, really we want to stay within about that patty size. Now you can see my patties are coming together pretty well, and that's because this is fresh hamburger meat, hasn't been frozen. And you'll find that when you're making hamburger patties, it really is easier to make the patties if the hamburger has not been frozen. And that's because of the water and the things within the meat. Got our last burger. Now notice I didn't put any seasonings inside the hamburger meat. A lot of times if we add seasonings inside the meat, that actually draws the moisture out of our hamburger, makes it a little bit more dry. Another thing that will make our hamburgers dry is if we use a very lean hamburger meat. In fact, for your hamburger patties, you really want to stay within about an 80-20 mix on your hamburger. Now once we have our patties done, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to put a divot in the middle of each one. And what that does is it actually gives the hamburger room to expand as it cooks. Now when we get done, you won't see that divot, but it gives it just enough room to expand so that our hamburger stays together, doesn't fall apart or crack or break up on the grill. Now we have our grill preheated to a medium-high heat. You always want to make sure that your grill is preheated before you put things on it. You want to hear that sizzle. Shut the lid back down. I'm going to run inside, get my hands washed up, put this dirty plate away, and we'll be right back with you. We've come back from washing our hands, and now we're ready to get our grilled vegetables ready. And I've called one of my coworkers, Miss Lindsay Hicks, in to help me. And we have one of the handy dandy grill baskets. If you don't have one of these, they come in different shapes, different varieties. This one expands to become a little bit wider. These are really nice because a lot of times we want to do mixed veggies on the grill, but we have problems with them falling through the grate, or it takes too much time to flip them, all kinds of things. So this is really a neat little thing to get. Comes apart. I'm going to have Lindsay help me out. One of the things with grilling that you want to make sure of is that if you are using an aerosol spray oil, you get the one that's formulated for high heat. And a lot of times they will just say grilling on the packaging. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for one that does for grilling. The reason for that is because they get very sticky, very gummy whenever put with high heat. So that's one thing that we look at. And Lindsay, I'm just going to have you do that. She's going to put some onions, some bell pepper, some squash, some mushrooms, and put all of that in our grill basket. She's got both sides of the basket sprayed with the spray oil. And then we're going to spray them again put just a little bit of a seasoning on them. You don't want to over season your grilled vegetables because we really want that flavor of the vegetable to shine through. And so she's going to put just a little bit of an all-purpose seasoning on it. And then I'm going to show you guys how to do a chipotle mayonnaise. Everybody gets really into varieties of different toppings and different condiments this time of the year. And so this is a really quick, easy condiment that you can do. We have the canned chipotle peppers that comes in a can about that big, and you just want 2 tablespoons of that. And you're going to kind of puree that around with a fork. And then you're going to mix it with a 1/2 cup of fat-free mayonnaise. And this is one of those ways that you can have mayonnaise, but use the fat-free, and you don't miss it because you've got this other great flavor in there as well.
Now, Sonia, on these, is it important for them to lay flat, or can they be stacked on top of each other?
They can be stacked on top of each other. Because you've got them in the grill basket, that's not quite as important. You do like to have some of that surface area, but you're still going to get that great grilling flavor, and so that's one thing that's really important. The mayonnaise is done. And I believe it's time to also flip our burgers. Notice we only flip them, haven't kept the lid closed, haven't touched them until halfway through the cooking time. And then you come in and you can flip them over. The other thing that I am not doing is squishing them. I'm not going to press down on these hamburgers. Once you do that, you've just let all of the juices of the hamburger fall on the grill grates. So we don't want that. Got our grill basket. We're just going to set that on there. And by the time our veggies are done, our hamburgers will be done and we will be ready to eat. Now we're going to put our hamburger buns. We've chosen whole wheat hamburger buns because we really do need to start eating more whole grains, and so that's a way we can do that. Get those on there using a variety of cheeses. We're going to do a Swiss, a Monterey Jack, and a cheddar today, and really kind of spice things up with our cheeses and have some variety there. We are ready to take our hamburgers off the grill. They've all reached 165, and you can see the cheese is melted and it is smelling really, really good out here. Our veggies have also gotten done. So we have our hamburgers. Going to place our veggies right here. They are great. And remember, when you're grilling veggies, you just want them to the tender crisp stage. We don't want them to be mushy. We don't want them to be falling apart. We're going to take our hamburger patty or hamburger buns off the grill. They've gotten nice and toasty. And then we'll put a little bit of our chipotle mayonnaise. Another great thing about this is that a little bit goes a long ways, and so you don't use quite as much of the mayonnaise, even though it is a fat-free. You know, you want your condiments to go light so that you can go and add flavor in other areas. We'll do our Swiss burger on this one, and maybe add, what do you think, Miss Lindsay?
Oh, how about a little bit of bell pepper and onion?
Okay. Do a little bit of onion on that.
And it wouldn't be a hamburger without a little bit of tomato.
Ooh, yeah. Got to do a little bit of tomato, maybe some bell peppers. I would like to add a mushroom. And maybe 1 slice of bacon.
It's a big burger.
That is a big burger. And then, what do you think? What should we do for the next one?
Let's do one with some of the squash.
Okay. Should we put anything on it?
Yeah, let's have a little mustard.
Mustard? Okay.
A little squash.
Do a little squash.
Maybe some spinach.
Okay. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Squash and spinach.
I've got to have some bell pepper.
Okay. Which burger, a cheddar or a Monterey Jack?
Let's go with a Monterey Jack.
Okay. And you and your family can have fun creating all of your great burgers this Labor Day weekend. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Food Corner. Thanks for being with me, Lindsay.
Problem.
And we'll see you next time. Be sure to come back to the Food Corner, part of newsstar.com, for more demonstrations and recipes. And if you have any questions, contact the Pottawatomie County OSU Extension Office. We'd like to send a great thanks to Rock Creek Baptist Church for letting us use their facilities today. And remember, eat better, eat together.